Good morning, Village Democrats. Clearly, I am not your president, Diane Foley. She's a little sick girl today, so she's staying home, but she'll be okay. So she inflicted me on you in her place. I'm Dennis Foley, and welcome to the meeting. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? We'll move to the moment of silence. This being Women's Month, and yesterday being International Women's Day, where they had a very successful gathering organized by the Sisters of Synergy in the villages. 80 people in the room and had to turn away 25 because they couldn't get any more in. We want to reflect, if you would, Andy, next slide. That we want our moment of silence to be in support of gender equality and reproductive rights and against every form of violence and abuse against women. Thank you. Before we get to the rest of the slides, I'm going to ask to make a couple of quick announcements and housekeeping matters. There's a petition form on your chair that you saw for the expansion of Medicaid. It's another constitutional ballot measure. It's designed to perhaps go on the ballot in 2026. But if you fill it out now, they need to gather lots and lots, like a million or so petitions. And so they're getting started early while people are excited about the 24 election. And once you fill it out, if you would give it to Sue and Joe Dublin, they're sitting right down here in the front. They are collecting them. And thank you for that. I was reminded by a member when she walked in the door that March 1961 is when President John F. Kennedy announced and launched the Peace Corps. And she told me that at least 30 villagers are former Peace Corps volunteers, and several of them are members of our club. If you are a former Peace Corps volunteer, would you please stand and be recognized? There are still 4,000 Peace Corps volunteers around the world, so it's not too late for those of you who visited. Okay, I think that's that. Okay, you were handed a ballot on your way in, because today, after the speakers, there's a club election of officers to the board of directors. Some of you did early voting and cast them already in the little red, white, blue bag here on the table. But a little later in the meeting, I will ask for a motion from the floor in a second to make it formal. I'm formally announcing that this is our annual meeting because our bylaws require us to conduct our elections at the annual meeting by private ballot. So the rest of you, please prepare to fill out your ballot, and as you finish or leave the meeting, drop it in the bag up here. We will count them and post the results in the buzz tomorrow. It's a slate, so it's just one vote for all the people who were proposed by the nominating committee the last month's meeting. One other little minor thing in our bylaws that we have to try to follow: if you are a newer member, you've only been a member for less than 45 days, you're not eligible to vote yet. So, sorry. That does not apply to people who are renewing members, who've been members for years. It's just one little thing. I don't know why it's in the bylaws. If we're going to revise them this year, we may take that out. So, okay, so who watched the State of the Union on Thursday? Who's the boss of Trump and MAGA and the GOP? This guy. I was alone in my house, yelling at the TV set. And for once, I wasn't yelling in anger, I was yelling in celebration. If you were not inspired by that speech, check your pulse, because that's what we've been waiting for. And that's what we need to keep up, is that energy through the November election, because we are going to take these people down. Next slide, please. All right, the Lake County Democrats are represented here. Having an annual Blue Gala fundraiser, April 6th, a Saturday. There are still seats available, so if you want to get information or buy a ticket, you can go to lakedemocrats.com or talk to Luann and she'll set you up. The speaker for that meeting is our Democratic, or one of our Democratic candidates for U.S. Senator, Deborah Powell, who is going to knock out Rick Scott. Coincidentally, or not, her campaign called the Sumter County Democratic Party the other day, represented here by Bob Berg and Chris Anderson, the chair and vice chair, and said, hey, since we're going to be in the area, we'd like to come to Sumter the next day. So on Sunday the 7th, you should save that date if you want to meet Deborah Powell. At the moment, we're talking about having a candidate forum at Eisenhower Rec Center between 12:30 and 3:30 on that Sunday. It will involve Ash Marwah, our candidate for District 52, who is here and Barbie Hardin Hall, who is running for Congress against Daniel Webster. And I have a feeling there might be some sort of golf cart caravan organized as well for that day. So get your signs and banners ready. Okay, next slide, please. I usually don't call out our social events during the meeting, but this one is new and fun, and it allowed me to use a picture of John Travolta and Donna Pascal. So this is coming up now. We did a Saha last year. More than 100 people bought the $10 tickets and came and danced the night away, many of them dressed in a period costume, which is our normal wardrobe. Now we've moved it up a couple of decades, from the 50s and 60s to the 70s and 80s. We have a DJ who has all the songs and tunes, is actually from that era and loves those songs. And we're working on getting an instructor from the villages to come in and give us a hustle lesson. So hustle on down and get some tickets. They're on the website, and we'll have a blast. Next slide, please. Our next speaker, who will be brief, is our candidate for District 52, well known to most of us, but will introduce himself to the rest of you, Ash Marwah.
What an incredible work they are doing, and I love it. Just think about it. If Roe v. Wade was still the law of the land, there'd be no need for all of this. It's incredible what is happening with abortion. And that's one of the key on my platform. And you watched President Biden's speech yesterday, or day before, and there was a woman shown from Texas who had to go through incredible hurdles to get an abortion. And this is after the doctor had told her her life was in danger. And Texas law did not allow her to get abortion. She could not travel. They sued the state of Texas. So what Elevated Access is doing is one aspect of it. There are so many parts and portions to abortion. And that's the key in my platform, is abortion, affordability, and accountability. Abortion is not just abortion, not just surgery. It's a lot more involved process. It's women's health care. And what is but by not allowing women choice, it is removing healthcare options for women. It's making it incredibly difficult especially for women of color and women and black women. Just imagine affordable, if people cannot afford travel, if they cannot make arrangements for their children, just the amount of effort that is needed to overcome these laws. And Florida is next in line. Florida has passed a law to ban abortion after 6 weeks. And my opponent, John Temple, has voted for it. That law is in existence in Florida. The only reason it's not being implemented because the earlier law of 15-week abortion is being reviewed by the Florida Supreme Court. As soon as Florida Supreme Court gets done with that review, the 6-week abortion law will come into effect within 30 days. So, what elevated access is doing will be incredibly important for women in Florida. And that's coming. It's just a matter of time. It's not if, it's just when, because the law is already on the books. And my second issue is affordability. It's abortion, affordability, and accountability. Affordability is for housing. Housing is going out of sight in Florida. The homeowner's insurance keeps on going up and up. My opponent, John Temple, has voted for 2 laws in 2022 for homeowners insurance, gave $3 billion of our tax dollars for reinsurance, and that's with a B, $3 billion for reinsurance to prop insurance companies. But insurance companies are losing so much money, they continue to leave. I just heard last week that the 12th insurance company, Progressive, is leaving Florida. It's ASI, Progressive, American Strategic Insurance, Progressive. The notice that I saw to a homeowner in villages, it said Progressive is stopping dwelling fire insurance in Florida, in the state. So that is going to again increase premiums on all of us. And not only the insurance itself, what else is happening is that the people who cannot get insurance, they get insured by citizens' life insurance. Citizens insurance. Citizens insurance is you and me, taxpayers, paying to give homeowner insurance to people. There are 1.5 million insured for citizens insurance. If citizens insurance experiences a loss, if they cannot pay the damages, they have the ability to have a surcharge on all other insurance policies in the state. And that includes your car insurance. So if you see your car insurance is going up, that's because of the surcharge from the hurricane. If the hurricane surcharge is being applied to car insurance also. The rents are going up. That's homeowners insurance. The construction costs are going up because our governor is fond of his culture battles. The culture wars, trying to ban books, trying to ban migrants, trying to ban anything and everything except taking care of issues for Floridians. And that is adding to construction costs, and I don't have to, give you an example. You know yourself when you call a handyman or you call a repairman, see what is happening in the villages in the last 5 years, how things have shaped. And the third aspect of my mandate is accountability. We have to hold the legislature, the governor accountable for what is happening. And you are, all of you are my team. You have to hold the legislature accountable. You have to convey the message to your friends and family. You have to tell them that unless we change the legislature, nothing is going to change. If we keep voting for the same people, they feel they're doing right and they should continue to do the same. We have to stop that. We have to change, make a change. All right? So here is the question. Are you fired up and ready to go? Fired up and ready to go? Fired up, ready to go?
All right, let's move on. Thanks for sticking with us. Time to elect club officers. We have a slate of candidates. I'll remind you who they were. Andy, next slide, please. This truly tells you don't let anybody be on the board. Over here, next. Susan Houston, are you here? Stand up, please. There you are. Bill Houston, are you here? Okay, good California. Phyllis Leopold. Okay. Eric Lutz, our first vice president, moving director at large. There it is. Ash Marwah, program director. This is the one who secured Elizabeth Dembrowsky, and our next speakers will also be terrific, I'm sure. Returning for their second terms, Amy Shaw, Diane Foley, Georgia Schoenauer, and Lee Strickland, and Andy Kleiman. Okay. I need a motion from the floor to elect the slate presented by the nominating committee. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved. I need a second? Seconded? Okay. Does everyone have a ballot? If you do not raise your hand, it will bring one to you. How did you sneak by Georgia? Okay, after you mark your ballot and put it in this bag right up here on the front table, the meeting will be adjourned. And we'll see you next month. Thank you so much.